If you watched the previous breakdown on the hidden psychology of money, you already know that wealth is emotional long before it becomes financial. Most money problems don't come from lack of income. They come from invisible habits driven by beliefs, fear, comfort, and conditioning. So today, we're taking the next step. We're exploring the 5 psychological habits that quietly keep people broke, even when they earn good money, even when they know better, and even when they're trying their best. These habits don't show up loudly. They don't ruin your finances overnight. They work slowly, silently, and consistently, and that's why they're so dangerous. Once you understand them, you can break them. And once you break them, you remove the biggest internal barriers standing between you and financial independence. Habit 1. Emotional spending disguised as self-care. One of the biggest illusions in modern money management is the idea that spending to feel better is a form of self-care. Marketers love this. The economy loves this. Your bank account hates it. Emotional spending happens for a simple psychological reason. The brain is wired to seek relief from stress immediately, not later. It doesn't care about budgets. It cares about dopamine. The problem is this. Small emotional purchases create a habit loop. Every time you're stressed, bored, lonely, or tired, your brain remembers. Spending makes me feel better. So you repeat it, and each time you repeat it, the habit becomes stronger. This is why many people with good jobs feel broke. Their money isn't going to their future. It's going toward managing their emotions. The real danger is subtle. Emotional spending doesn't feel reckless. It feels justified. You tell yourself, I deserve this. It's been a long week. It's only $40. That's not too much. But stack those decisions across a month, a year, a decade, and you realize the psychology behind it is what truly keeps people broke. The cure isn't guilt. It's awareness. Ask yourself, am I buying this because I need it? Or because I want to feel something? Because until you can separate emotions from spending, financial freedom will always feel out of reach. Habit 2. Saving whatever is left over instead of paying yourself first. If emotional spending is the first habit that keeps people broke, this one is the most common. Saving whatever is left after spending. Here's the psychological trick. The brain sees future rewards as less valuable than present ones. This is called present bias. So, when you tell yourself, I'll save whatever's left, the brain interprets it as optional. And guess what? There's never anything left. Bills expand. Lifestyle inflates. Convenience takes priority. And saving gets pushed into tomorrow, which, psychologically, is the safest place to hide responsibility. High-income people fall into this trap, even more than low-income earners. Because the bigger the paycheck, the easier it feels to assume there will always be money left over. But money without structure disappears. Here's the truth the wealthy understand. You do not save money by accident. You save by design. The automatic act of paying yourself first, even if it's small, rewrites your money script. It changes your identity from someone who tries to save to someone who prioritizes their future. The moment you flip this habit, everything changes. Emergency funds grow. Investments happen consistently. Money stops slipping through the cracks. But as long as saving is in the leftover category, your financial life will stay unpredictable and usually empty. Habit 3. Keeping up appearances. In the first video, we talked about comparison as a psychological trap. This time, we're taking it deeper because comparison doesn't just affect feelings. It affects spending. A lot of people don't buy certain things because they want them. They buy because they want to be seen in a certain way. This is one of the quietest but most expensive habits. Spending to project stability, success, or status, even when your bank account says otherwise. Why does this happen? Because the brain hates feeling left behind. It hates feeling less than. It hates feeling different from the group you want to belong to. So, you match the energy, the vacations, the clothes, the restaurants, the upgrades, not because you're reckless, but because you're human. And humans are wired for belonging. But there's a psychological cost. Every dollar spent maintaining an image is a dollar stolen from your future self. You end up competing with people who might be competing with you, while both of you are quietly sinking financially. How ridiculous is that? The people who look rich often aren't. The people who are rich often don't look like it. Because real wealth is quiet, and real peace doesn't come from what you show the world. It comes from what you know you have in the bank. Breaking this habit means one thing. It means you choose progress over performing. You choose peace over perception. You choose your actual financial life over the version you present online. Habit 4. Avoiding discomfort. This is the habit of not looking at your finances. Most people aren't struggling because they make bad decisions. They're struggling because they avoid making decisions at all. Avoidance is one of the strongest money-blocking habits, and it usually starts with one belief. If I don't look at it, I don't have to stress about it. So, people avoid checking their balances. They avoid opening bills. They avoid tracking spending. They avoid planning. They avoid facing the truth. And all of that avoidance creates one thing: chaos. Here's why humans do this. The brain interprets financial tasks as emotionally risky. It anticipates stress, shame, fear, or disappointment. So it protects you by pushing you away from the very thing that could fix the problem. Avoiding money feels safer than confronting it, but only short-term. Long-term, it leads to the very problems people were trying to avoid in the first place. The wealthiest people in the world aren't necessarily the smartest. They're just the most willing to face reality. They look at the numbers. They adjust. They plan. They stay aware. Awareness is uncomfortable at first, but it gives you something priceless: control. You can't improve what you refuse to acknowledge. You can't fix what you won't measure. You can't build wealth with your eyes closed. Breaking this habit starts with a simple shift. Face the numbers, even if they aren't pretty, because the truth might sting for a moment, but ignorance costs you forever. Habit 5. Confusing income with wealth. This final habit quietly destroys more potential wealth than all the others combined. It's the belief that income equals success. People assume, if I make more money, I'll be fine. But psychology proves otherwise. Income can go up for years without creating a single dollar of wealth. Because wealth is not determined by how much you earn, but by how much you keep, grow, and protect. Here's the psychological trap. Income feels exciting. Saving feels boring. Investing feels slow. But excitement doesn't build wealth. Discipline does. A person earning $200,000 a year with poor habits can end up broke, while a person earning $60,000 with strong habits can retire early. The psychological mistake is believing that the solution to money problems is more money. But if your habits don't change, higher income only gives you a bigger stage to repeat the same mistakes. Truly wealthy people think differently. They see income as a tool, not a solution. They convert income into assets. They use time and patience as multipliers. And they don't let lifestyle inflate just because earnings rise. When you disconnect your identity from your income and reconnect it to your wealth-building habits, everything changes. These 5 habits don't feel destructive while you're doing them. They feel normal, comfortable, justified. That's what makes them dangerous. Emotional spending feels deserved. Saving later feels sensible. Comparison feels natural. Avoidance feels protective. High income feels safe. But all of them quietly sabotage your ability to build wealth. The good news? Psychology may be the cause, but awareness is the cure. When you catch yourself spending to feel better, pause. When you plan to save later, reverse it. When comparison kicks in, disconnect. When avoidance shows up, face the numbers. When income rises, don't let your habits drift. Financial freedom isn't luck. It's not even intelligence. It's awareness plus discipline plus consistency. Wealth begins in the mind. And once you master these 5 psychological habits, money finally starts working for you instead of against you. If this helped you understand the deeper psychological side of money, stay tuned for more uploads in this series. Remember, wealth starts in your mind and grows with every calm decision you make. And if you're ready for the next step, you'll want to watch what's coming next in this Money Mindset series.